Hey there, Amplifiers. Thanks for tuning in, and we have some great content today. We've been talking about growing your business. We've been talking about productizing your business. We've been talking about scaling it, but you can't do that, even if you have the best marketing systems in the world, if you don't have somebody to help you navigate that financial journey as well. It takes many people to come together, a team, mind that, to amplify a business. And so our guest today really has some knowledge and expertise to help businesses of all different sizes, but the sweet spot is franchisees. And I think that's really cool because franchisees are already experiencing the benefit of having somebody taking the time to productize so that they've been able to scale. And even then, even if you already have systems, you still need to know what to look out for so that you don't have some of those common challenges and failures. So I'd like to welcome to Growth Amplifiers, Michael Reeder. He has helped many businesses buy and has helped them buy businesses. He's helped them with their accounting, their tax, their funding, and all the different financial aspects of their business, from their acquisition to simplifying complex matters for them. He's the managing shareholder and the owner, and that's for Swartz Reeder Advisors, Swartz and Reeder Advisors. So welcome to Growth Amplifiers, Michael. Thanks for joining us.
Kenny, great to be here, and a shout out to the Growth Amplifier Nation. Appreciate you all listening.
So one of the things we want to do is make sure that people get just a little bit of sense of your background, of what brought you to where you're at right now on your journey, and a little bit of backstory. So what brought you to doing what you do today?
Great question. So I didn't know what I wanted to do in college. So I'm now I'll start at the end and then I'll work my way back a little bit. I'm 35 years old. I now own the CPA firm that hired me out of college. So that's where I'm at today as we record this in November of 2022.
That's awesome.
And thank you. When I was in college, right? It took me 5 years to graduate college. I went to Indiana University in Bloomington, had a little too much fun there, went back home to Chicago, finished up at a local community college, a local four-year school, Northeastern Illinois University. Shout out to the Golden Eagles. And I was a physical therapy major. I was a journalism major. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do. So I didn't want to be one of those guys that takes forever to graduate college. So I settled on accounting. And so fast forward, I settled on accounting right around the time that that I got my degree. My dad reconnected with an old friend. Okay. Mm-hmm. This is in like November 2010. And they went out to eat for lunch. And hey, so how you doing? Oh, good. My son just graduated, got a degree in accounting. Oh, my brother has a small CPA firm out in the Chicago suburbs. They should connect. Long story short, I connected with Barry Swartz in November 2010. Self-studied for the CPA exam for those first few years. Became a partner in 2015. Bought him outright in 2019. Here we are today in 2022, living the dream.
Living the dream, man. That is awesome. So, as you mentioned, you can help out a lot of different businesses of different shapes and sizes. But
rectangles, circles, octagons, all different shapes.
Yes, you mentioned one of the things we try to share in Growth Amplifiers is it's the riches are in the niches, and it's really helpful to kind of have a niche where you can focus and really understand what their unique challenges are so that you can help them with specialized knowledge. You can't be the master of everything. You mentioned franchisees. So curious to know, a little bit more about when you're working with franchisees, what are some of the biggest challenges that you see them having? Maybe they know it, maybe they don't. What are some of the biggest challenges franchisees tend to have?
Yeah, great question, Kenny. When I first connect with franchisees, so I've cultivated over the last 7 or 8 years, I've cultivated a nationwide network of franchise professionals, right? So franchise consultants, franchisors, franchise development groups, franchise funding companies. So I have a nationwide network of franchise professionals that refer me their prospective franchise business buyers, the prospective franchisees. And so a lot of these people are looking for, a lot of these people are looking for an alternative to the corporate grind.
Mhm.
A lot of these people got laid off recently and they don't want to go back into corporate. A lot of people are going to keep their corporate job and they want to start up their business and phase out of their corporate job in 2 to 3 years later. A lot of people are doing it for their spouse. And so a big challenge that a lot of people have that I talk to, that I meet that original story, that original connection point when they get referred to me, is that they've just been turbo-taxing their taxes. Their taxes have been this W-2, some mortgage interest, TurboTax, done. And now I'm buying a business. I'm investing hundreds of thousands of dollars. Should I be an LLC, an S corporation, a C corporation? Should I leverage it with my own money, with my retirement money, with an SBA loan, with a home equity line of credit, a combination of this or that, cash? How does the taxes work for a self-employed person? I have no clue. Help! And working with a professional like me, I provide them a lot of that help.
So it's like they see, oh man, there's a lot of people doing really good playing this game. It's like chess. And they sit down at the chess table and they start playing. And before you know it, they're losing some pieces. And they're like, huh, maybe I need someone to help me so I can play the right moves and not lose this game. Some people think if they buy a franchise, it's automatically going to be successful. Like, oh, I'm going to buy this franchise. They've already got all the systems, all the hard work. It's just going to be plug and play. But I've come to find from the franchisees that I've talked to, when maybe helping out with their marketing or their sales process, is they give you some things. They give you some direction. There is value there, but they don't take care of everything. And from the financial side, it sounds like there's a lot of things that they leave the owner to try to figure out. And
Right.
what are some of those challenges that if they didn't resolve, what would happen? Like, what are those consequences that if they didn't know what they didn't know and they didn't resolve it, what would happen to these franchisees who are excited?
Yeah, so I'm a straight shooter, right? So let's be honest. I mean, they're going to increase their chance of failing in business, and it's not rocket science. You read all the reputable books out there that are about business ownership and entrepreneurship. One that comes top of mind for me is Michael Gerber's The E-Myth and
Mm-hmm.
The E-Myth Revisited, and it's right there, smack dab on the cover of the book. Most small businesses fail, and what to do about it. So if you want to be a business owner, your statistics are against you. Your statistics show that you're going to fail, and I know that's scary, but there are common themes amongst businesses that fail, and there are common themes amongst businesses that go on to be successful and thrive and be profitable. And that's a subjective term, right? The latter is subjective, because what is success? Like, what is success to person A could be different than what success means to person B and to person C, respectively. And so, if you want to make millions and millions of money, God bless you, and God bless America. This is the country to do it. And but do you want to just make enough money to pay your bills, have a little bit extra, but be your own boss and have autonomy of your own schedule? God bless you, because that's a big thing about being a business owner, is not just the money. We all love making money. But also the lifestyle, the autonomy to be your own boss, to make your own schedule. That's a bit, and then everything in between. And so, if you so when you are a business owner and you get in your own way, you trip over dollars to save nickels, you try to lowball every vendor and every partner that whether it's in the context of marketing and advertising, whether it's in the context of sales and business development, whether it's in the context of finance and accounting and tax planning, whether it's in the context of operations. Regardless of franchise or independent, these are all pillars of any business. A business is a compilation of systems and standard operating procedures and all those different respective divisions that I just mentioned. And they're all gardens, and each garden needs to be watered. You need to own a business and not a job. And so, to your point, Kenny, when you're a franchisee, the franchisor gives you the playbook. You have to
Mhm.
execute the playbook, but a lot of that is the actual execution of the playbook. You have to, and they'll give you the framework, but you have to operate within that framework and be innovative in those certain things. And so, just understanding the importance of system building, of developing standard operating procedures, and watering all of those gardens of any business, franchise or independent, regardless of industry.
So,
That needs to happen. And it's easier said than done, but it can be done.
so it's kind of like when going back to the chess analogy, you can play the pieces and maybe you can see a move or two ahead, but an expert who's really studied chess can be seeing 3, 4, 5 moves ahead, and you're not even understanding what's there. You can't see your blind spot if you don't have that experience and that skill level, even if you're really smart. It has nothing to do with smarts or competency, um, which is actually one of the challenges sometimes that I when I'm connecting with people that I run into is sometimes people, because they've been successful or because they are smart or because they're doing good, they think, yeah, I kind of know everything I need to know at this point. We're good. And they close off the opportunity of seeing different possibilities. You think once you think I know everything, kind of goes back into being a teenage mindset. I
Yeah.
know it, Dad, right? So we've got to be open to say, maybe I don't know everything. And if there's people that could provide me fresh perspective, then it would be helpful. So that's one of the challenges that I personally have run into. I'm connecting with a business that maybe is already doing good, and I might be able to help them even do better, but they may just not even be opening that opportunity. When you're connecting with potential franchisees or other businesses, what are some of those challenges that you run into with being able to help them out and having them experience that transformation? And this is a little bit of vulnerability, but it's being real about what the challenges we have with providing the value to those we serve.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people getting in their own way. I see a lot of people, and I have empathy for everyone. I totally get it, especially when you're, for example, in the context of a franchisee, when you're buying a business, you're making a big financial investment, you're seeing all this money leave, you're taking on debt, and you still have to ramp up. The revenue is still a little bit down the road, and so that's a stressful situation. I get it, like I really get it. Um, but you're coming to me, you're looking to follow my lead. You're looking for my leadership. I'm an entrepreneurial CPA. I own multiple businesses. Depending on the year, I have between 20 and 30 people on my payroll, whether they're W-2, 1099, full-time, part-time. Um, I don't just, I practice what I preach,
Mm-hmm.
and I live it every day. And, been doing this self-employed thing for, 12 years now running. Never bounced a check on my team. So proud of that. And so, a lot of people just, the market is the market is the market, right? So, like, a lot of people are just getting in their own way, and a lot of people are trying. They don't know what they want. They don't know what they want. I can go on and on. It's a
You're
real
saying you're
deep
saying
topic.
getting in their own way, and
Mm-hmm.
I can interpret that one way. Someone else may interpret that another. Would you mind expanding upon what that might mean? Because
Yeah,
some
absolutely.
people
So
might
just
be
one
getting in their own way
example.
and not realizing it, right?
Right. So exactly, Kenny. Like one example is, um, they are the consumer, and so they are telling me what they want, and I'm listening to it, and then and I know what situation they're in because I talk to hundreds of people like them all the time, and I know what they need, and perhaps because of like what the price point is, and like they just don't see the value, and they think that they can just find it somewhere for cheaper or some commoditized service like a bookkeeping or tax prep, or that they feel like they can just do it themselves. And so for the sake of, saving a few dollars on the front end, they're going to try to do it themselves, and they're not going to, surround themselves with a strategic team of advisors. Like from day one, any business owner should have a good CPA, a good proactive CPA, and a good proactive attorney. And so that, like, you're going to spend money on stuff. What are things that are, worth spending money on? And what are things that you can trim back on, right? And so, in my professional opinion, having that team of advisors is, that good CPA, that good attorney is a must when you're at that early stage of buying a business. And then, as you go on in perpetuity, and when you have an exit event, and you're going to try to do everything yourself. You're going to get yourself stressed out, and even if you're good, you're going to run into a certain point. You're going to hit a tipping point where it's like, all right, I'm maxed out. I can't do everything by myself. And so, shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk. One thing that he says that's very important is when you evolve from, so like a lot. I love it when he says this. You might be like a great number 17 at Amazon, but you're not meant to be. But you're not an entrepreneur. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, maybe you're like number 21 at IBM, and you're a great executor for the big corporate, and like, you make, three, four, five, $600,000. God bless you. That's great. But then but like when you're an employee, IQ, when it comes to executing tasks, like, that's important. But then when you go into the role of leadership, when you become a business owner, now it's less about IQ and more about EQ. This is what Gary Vaynerchuk always talks about, having to deal with other human beings. It's like, if you don't like dealing with other human beings, then you better find someone on your leadership team that could, be the manager, so to speak. If you don't want to be if you're more of a back of the office person. But whether it's your employees, your team, your vendors, your customers, your clients, your affiliates. You need to listen to people. You have to be empathetic. You're going to have to meet in the middle. You're going to have to be the bigger person whenever there's controversy. You're going to have to look for solutions, see the forest of the trees, and not let every little thing stress you out. Understand that every day is going to be filled with like some micro wins and micro losses, but in the net and the macro, it's going to be a win, right? Viewing a micro loss as a learning opportunity and improving upon it. And like, it's mindset. Like, a big part of it is mindset and understanding these things, and understanding that you're going to have to give and take a little bit, and you're going to have to spend some money on things. If you're just trying to try to lowball everyone and try to do everything yourself, you're going to stunt your own growth.
I could see that could get a lot of people, they get in their own way. I experienced that too. When I'm connecting with someone, sometimes they have maybe an internal marketing team or a marketing agency, and they're doing good. They're like, hey, we've got plenty of business right now. Hey there, this is Kenny from Growth Amplifiers, here to ensure you get your awesome ideas into action to grow and improve your business and achieve your full potential. Take the first step by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. Take the assessment to get your personalized score. Then select from free resources to learn how to improve your score. Don't wait. Be proactive and take action now by visiting growthamplifiers.com and clicking the Start Here button. And always keep on amplifying. Now, let's get back to the show. I provide a different perspective. So I say I could help you see things that you can't, and maybe you could save time or increase profitability. And sometimes they think, oh, what would that cost me? Stephen Covey, in his book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, said you need to think about not cost when you're looking at things that will help you improve your production capability. You need to be thinking about ROI, right? So when people think, what would it cost you not to invest having someone help you with your finances? That's the cost you need to be thinking about. You might spend a few $1,000s, few $10,000, whatever, to invest in having a business advisory team. But what are the hundreds of or millions of dollars that would cost you by not having made those critical decisions? Just like someone who's playing a chess game, if they're making the wrong moves, they're going to lose the game. And it becomes to a point where they don't even have the ability to win because they played their game wrong early. So it's a paradigm shift that I try to get people to see, is just, what is the cost to not do these things? Every day that you're not playing at your full A game, you're losing possibilities. So we're going to move into the segment here, getting some of your insights and input on a few different ideas. This is kind of quick fire sort of stuff, and just share what comes top of mind. Whatever you have to share is greatly appreciated. So we're thinking about a productivity tool. It's a software or something that you've used. If we could try to think of something that maybe is not like Microsoft Word, something that's super obvious, if it's something maybe unique that you find beneficial, that you use, and that might be interesting to others, that would be great for you to share. Productivity tool.
So top of mind, right? Hot seat, what's ever top of mind, right? Like stream of consciousness. I mean, no brainer. Like G Suite is better than Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. So we use G Suite as our primary internal file cabinet for documents, because not only to save PDFs there, but also to have Google Doc and Google Sheets. These are cloud version files that can be perpetually updated and shared by multiple people. So much better than the clunky Microsoft Excel file or Microsoft Word file that you always have to back up restore. So for workflow, I'm a big advocate of G Suite.
Awesome. So now, thank you for that much, Michael. Appreciate that. And if you could share a book that could help someone with their business or their mindset, or something that you found beneficial. Again, there's the obvious one that you shared earlier, the E-Myth. But if you have something that maybe just be a little hidden gem that is not as, there's someone walking, sorry, distraction.
No problem.
It's not as known by everyone.
My last name is Reeder, right? So you would think that I love to read books like 24/7. My dad is actually a writer. My mom is a retired librarian. But I hate. I mean, and this is not like I just the way that I consume, the way that I learn and consume content. I'm really good at audio and watching things. The E-Myth Revisited, I know I said it, hey, if I sound like a broken record, good, because there's a reason why I'm drilling this in your head, people. The E-Myth Revisited by Michael Gerber, honestly, you'll read the first 50 or 75 pages and be like, okay, I got it. And it's just the importance of building systems and standard operating procedures in your business, understanding the difference between the technician persona inside of you, the manager persona inside of you, and the entrepreneur persona inside of you. The reason why it's called the E-Myth, right? The E-Myth as in the entrepreneur myth, because everyone thinks that just because you're a business owner, that you're an entrepreneur. And that's not the case. So many people out there struggle as business owners because their dominant persona inside of them is their technician persona. That voice inside of you that says, "Oh, let me just do that. It'll just be easier if I do that. Let me just do that. I don't want to train you because I just don't think that you're going to be able to get it. So I'll just do it. Just wait till you have 700 clients, and there you go. Just wait till you have 700 clients, and then you realize you're gonna have to trust people. You're gonna have to understand progress, not perfection. E-Myth Revisited. A business is a compilation of systems, standing operating procedures, and team members that work the system, right? And so, Profit First by Michael Michalowicz. I personally think that he goes too extreme with it, having like 5 or 7 different bank accounts, like the profit account, the operating account, the tax account, the this account, the that account. And if you want to get really fancy with it, God bless you. But I'm a fan of keeping it simple. And so I think that a good exercise is starting out with a number and see where you can operate, right? So start a business, right? You have your checking account. Open up a business savings account. And then every dollar of revenue that comes in, just without hesitation, 10 cents of every dollar goes into that business savings account, and just operate off of 90% of revenue. And that 10% is going to be there for whether it's for taxes, for profit, for retirement plan contributions. If Michael Michalowicz was listening right here, he would, because he's a real funny, witty guy, great sense of humor. He would eat my lunch right now, and he would tell me that I'm an idiot and all that type of stuff. I respect it. But the overlying message with Profit First is great, because hey, just without hesitation. Because what I like about Michael Michalowicz's approach, if you read the book, he got his idea for Profit First, his inspiration, by watching a TV documentary about how human beings, and if you put a human being in a buffet, they're going to overeat. But if you just put a human being in an environment where there's just like a pot of broth and noodles, they're just going to adapt to the pot of broth and noodles. If you have the toothpaste, right, and you got a bunch of like a full toothpaste thing, you're gonna put way too much toothpaste on your toothpaste. If you just have a little bit, you're gonna human beings are great at adapting.
Mm-hmm.
So if you just adapt on day one of your business, hey, listen, like here's the rule, non-negotiable rule that you make with yourself. 10% of every day, and then you can get fun with it, and then maybe you can, if you get really good with keeping your and I made a YouTube video about this. Everyone, check out the Swartz Reeder Advisors YouTube channel. One of the secrets of long-term wealth is live a life in which your cost of living is low in proportion to your total your total income. So that but you start with 10%, and then if you can play around and make it 20%, but those are two books that I tell everyone. The E-Myth Revisited, Michael Gerber; Profit First, Michael McAlwitz.
Super cool. So you've been sharing some great information. For those who may want to learn more about your business and maybe they need help, maybe they're looking to buy a business, or maybe they already have a business and they're looking for a guide to help them see things differently, get things aligned, where could they go and what could they do?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely reach out to me and my company. Our website, swartzreeder.com, our YouTube channel, my LinkedIn profile, Michael Ian Reeder. You can hit me up on LinkedIn. Kenny, I've got two cell phones, right? I've got my work cell phone. I got my personal cell phone that only has like YouTube, Netflix on it. So I give out my cell phone number. My cell phone number, 847-302-3397. Call me, leave a voice message, text me. I'm on WhatsApp. Reach out to me. On our website, there's an inquiry section, of course. Let's connect on LinkedIn. I'm big on LinkedIn. That's my primary social. I've got 22,000 followers. I'm posting content there daily. Reach out to me. Let's talk. And either myself or someone on my team will have an intro call with you, and we are here to help you succeed.
Excellent. So one parting thing that we have as a tradition is although you've shared some great information such far, if you'd be so kind as to share something that you've learned on your journey that may help someone on theirs. It can be related to your profession, or it could be just a life lesson, just a parting takeaway thought.
Oh man. Kenny, like you and me and the audience, one of these days we're gonna have to go Joe Rogan style, 3 hours nonstop, because I can get deep. I can get real deep. So I'll keep it more in the context of business. Couple things here. One is related to what Kenny does with his primary business, and one is related to what I do in my primary business. So more in Kenny's world, right, in the world of marketing and content, etc. Every business out there today, always, but really today more than ever, and into the future. And again, shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk has a big influence on me. And so reading "Crush It" by Gary Vaynerchuk or his other books are great reads as well. This is more, I think of Kenny but I think of whatever industry that you're in, whatever business you are, right? You're a media company first, and then whatever your industry is second. Like you're a media company, you have to approach like you are a media company first. Like if you're not producing content, you're losing. Like maybe you've got your internal networking, depending on what you do, right? But a big part of a big part of building a business is you have to have that marketing division, that content division, just solid. And there's a lot that goes into that, and Kenny is the one to talk to for all of that. But you're a media company first. You're a media company first, and then whatever your business is second. And then for me, what's more in my world that I tell people is understanding the difference between profit and cash flow. And if you want to, and so people, if you're out there and you're listening, you want me to, dive deep into this, like this whole difference between profit and cash flow, then reach out to me and let's have a one-on-one. But understanding the difference between profit and cash flow, and understanding that cash flow is more important than profit, and why, reach out to me and we'll talk, and I'll tell you why. You have to reach out to me. That's the game. I'm not going to tell you, but cash flow is more important than profit. Understand that as a business, cash flow is more important than profit. Profit's important, very important. but cash flow is more important than profit. And if you want to talk why, want to ask me why, I'll tell you why. Reach out to me. Let's connect.
Thank you, Michael, for sharing that. And you guys who are tuning in, what is one piece of information that gave you an aha? I'd like to see that in comments. Maybe it was an example. Maybe it was a tip. Maybe it was a book. It's not just learning information that helps us grow. It's putting that information into action. So take something that you learned today and put it into action. And that's how we amplify. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure if you haven't done so already to follow Growth Amplifiers on YouTube. Make sure to look up swartzreeder.com. Check them out as well. Michael is putting out some great YouTubes. They have a great channel as well. So tune in, learn, grow, and amplify. Thank you very much. To show your support, take a moment to amplify this message by sharing it online. To connect with me or gain more business growth insights, visit www.growthamplifiers.com. Thank you for your support.